Welcome back to numismatic coins. You know that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln 1-cent penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend these pennies. You are lucky if you have one of these. So please watch complete video for numismatic treasure. Okay, let's start this.
Did you know that a single penny in your drawer, yes, your drawer, could be worth $1.9 million? Imagine finding a coin so rare that collectors worldwide are willing to pay you enough to change your life forever. Sounds impossible, right? Think again. In today's video, we're diving into the captivating story behind the 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in American history. But there's a twist. This isn't just a history lesson. By the end of this video, you'll discover why this coin's value has skyrocketed and how you can turn your pocket change into a life-changing fortune. Quick question: when was the last time you checked your piggy bank? If you're like most of us, probably around the time flip phones were a thing. Let's start with the basics, the 1949 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks like any other penny, simple, unassuming, and, let's face it, kind of dull. But don't be fooled. Beneath its copper surface lies a history steeped in rarity and value. Here's a fun one: do you know how many pennies are minted every year? Spoiler alert, it's in the billions. So what makes this one penny worth over $1 million? The answer lies in its unique flaws. In 1949, the U.S. Mint accidentally produced pennies without a mint mark, a tiny error that turned these coins into treasures for collectors. And while most of these pennies were lost or melted down, a few managed to survive, becoming a beacon of hope for treasure hunters everywhere. But here's the kicker: not every 1949 penny is worth $1.9 million. The secret to unlocking its true value comes down to one small, but crucial, detail. I'll reveal what it is in just a moment. Now, imagine this: you're at home, sorting through an old jar of coins passed down by your grandparents. As you sift through them, your heart skips a beat. You spot a 1949 Lincoln penny. Could this be the $1 million jackpot you've been dreaming of? The answer isn't as straightforward as it seems. Before you start planning your tropical getaway, remember, even a rare coin needs to meet specific grading criteria to reach top dollar value. Think of it like selling a car. Nobody's paying Ferrari prices for a rust bucket. Professional coin graders assess factors like condition, rarity, and historical significance to determine a coin's worth. And let me tell you, when a 1949 Lincoln penny is graded as mint state, its value skyrockets. But what exactly is mint state, and how do you know if your penny makes the cut? Stick around, because I'm about to share a simple trick collectors use to evaluate their coins, no expensive tools required. Here's where things get exciting. In recent years, a 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in pristine condition sold at auction for a staggering $1.9 million. That's more than most people make in a lifetime, all for a coin smaller than a quarter. Suddenly, that drawer full of loose change doesn't look so boring, does it? So, how do you determine if your penny is the real deal? Here's your roadmap to success: check the date and mint mark. If there's no mint mark under the date, you might be onto something. Inspect the condition. Look for minimal wear, sharp details, and a shiny finish. Get it professionally graded. It's worth the investment if your coin has potential, and most importantly, don't wait. Rare coins like this only increase in value over time. Every day that penny sits untouched could be a missed opportunity. Still wondering if your coin is worth millions? Before you go, let me tell you how to sell it for maximum profit. Think about it: the next 10 minutes you spend examining your coins could change your life forever. Don't let the chance slip away. Subscribe to the channel for more insider tips, and if you think you've struck gold, drop a comment below or visit the link in the description for expert coin valuation services. And remember, the next time someone says, "keep the change," you might want to take a closer look before you say, "thanks." Imagine waking up tomorrow, checking your old coin jar, and discovering a single penny worth millions of dollars. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's not. That dream could become your reality. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how a 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, with no mint mark, could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. Let me take you back in time, to 1951. The year was filled with the echo of post-war optimism, the rise of rock and roll, And, little did anyone know, the birth of a coin that would change history. It's just a penny, right? A simple coin, tucked away in your grandparents' old jar. But what if I told you this very penny could be worth over $1 million today? But here's the kicker, this isn't just any penny. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny, without a mint mark, it's extremely rare. You see, in 1951, most pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint and were stamped with a mint mark, an indicator of where the coin was made. But some pennies were mysteriously minted without this mark. And that small detail, this subtle anomaly, was enough to set the stage for an incredible story. A small number of these 1951 pennies, those with no mint mark, were mistakenly produced, and their rarity has made them one of the most sought-after treasures for coin collectors today. In fact, one of these rare 1951 pennies, in mint condition, recently sold for $1.9 million at auction. Yes, you heard that correctly. $1.9 million. For a penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, could I have one of these? Well, let's dive in and find out if you might be holding a goldmine in your hands. But wait, not every 1951 penny is worth millions. In fact, only a very specific one, minted without a mint mark, is worth this fortune. So how do you know if your penny is the lucky one? It all comes down to a few key details. First, you need to check the date. It's right there on the front, beneath the bust of Abraham Lincoln. It's gotta be from 1951. Now, here's the big question, does it have a mint mark? And no, that little D or S isn't the logo of a trendy designer brand. It's the mint mark that tells us which facility made the coin. If it's missing, that's where the magic happens. If your 1951 penny has no mint mark, congratulations, you might be sitting on a gold mine. But don't get too excited just yet. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value too. Now, here's where things get tricky. If your coin is worn, scratched, or tarnished, its value may drop. You need to check for key indicators like sharp details, clear lettering, and minimal wear around Lincoln's portrait. A pristine coin can bring in a jaw-dropping price, but if it's in poor condition, it's a whole different story. And please, don't go throwing your coins around like they're pocket change. Keep them safe, gentle handling, proper storage, and avoiding harsh cleaning. Trust me, if you clean your coin like you're scrubbing the kitchen floor, you could be wiping away thousands of dollars. So, now that you've confirmed you might own this rare coin, what's next? The big question, should you sell it, or hold on to it? The market for rare pennies is hotter than ever, and it's not slowing down. The 1951 no-mint mark penny's value has skyrocketed in recent years, with collectors and investors alike clamoring for one of their own. But here's where it gets really interesting. If you've got a rare 1951 penny, there's a chance it could be worth even more than $1.9 million in the future. Coin values fluctuate, but as demand increases and the supply of these rare pennies dwindles, your penny could fetch an even higher price than the record-breaking auctions we've seen so far. But here's the thing, you might be wondering, do I hold on to it? Or should I sell it while I can still get top dollar? Because the reality is, the window to cash in on these rare coins might not be open forever. So, what should you do? Wait until your coin is worth more, or sell now? The clock is ticking, and the choice is yours. Imagine living a life where you don't have to worry about bills, where financial freedom is in your hands, literally. That life could start with a single coin that's hiding in your collection. The 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny could be your ticket to wealth, but only if you take action. Don't wait, check your pennies, get them appraised, and if you find one of these hidden treasures, get it into the right hands. Your financial future might just be worth a lot more than you think. Imagine finding a single penny in your pocket and realizing it could be worth over $1.5 million. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But for some lucky individuals, this isn't just a dream, it's reality. Today, we're diving into one of the rarest pennies in the world, the 1961 D Lincoln cent, and how it could make you a fortune. If you're sitting on a collection of old pennies, then stick around, because this could change your life. What if I told you the penny you're holding in your hand right now could be worth enough to buy that dream house or even retire comfortably? Sounds like a fairy tale? Let's find out. Let's take you back in time to 1961. The US Mint was busy cranking out millions of Lincoln cents, yet one single penny produced that year in Denver would go unnoticed for decades, until now. Back in 1961, pennies were just pennies. Nobody was looking for anything special. But unbeknownst to coin collectors, the Denver Mint made a small error that changed everything. The 1961 D Mint Mark Lincoln cent is not just any penny. It's a coin that was supposed to be minted with a D mark, but due to a unique set of circumstances, some were left with an imperfect or flawed strike, making them extremely rare. These flawed coins are so rare, in fact, that only a handful are known to exist in perfect condition. And when these pennies hit the market, they shocked everyone by reaching astronomical values. Can you imagine holding on to one of those? Could the penny in your collection be one of them? Okay, don't start rummaging through your change jar just yet. I know some of you are already shaking the couch cushions as we speak. But trust me, this is not a wild goose chase, there's real treasure here. So, why is this penny worth $1.50 million? It's all about rarity, demand, and condition. But more than that, it's about the story behind the coin. A story that could make you the next millionaire. Imagine having a coin in your hands that collectors and investors would fight over. The 1961 D penny isn't just any coin, it's a legend in the world of numismatics. As more collectors discover its worth, prices keep climbing, and with every sale, the penny's value skyrockets. But here's the catch, not all 1961 D pennies are worth millions. The difference between a $1.5 million penny and a regular one comes down to two crucial factors: condition and rarity. A mint condition penny with a flaw could fetch an amount so high, it'll leave your jaw on the floor. How do you know if your penny is one of the rare, high-value ones? It all comes down to coin grading. You'll need to check for things like the strike, the details, and the overall wear on the coin. And let me tell you, finding one of these gems might just be easier than you think. If you've got a collection of old pennies, there's a chance you have the next big lottery ticket right in your hands. Still not sure? You might want to start looking through your coin jars, or you could be the one left wondering why you didn't check sooner when that $1.5 million penny slipped right through your fingers. Now, here's where things get real. If you're not paying attention to your coins, you could be leaving money on the table and time is running out. Think about it, just a small coin can change everything for you. This is your moment. Right now, the market for rare pennies is hotter than ever. But here's the thing, once these coins are gone, they're gone. If you don't act quickly, you could miss out on thousands, even millions of dollars. This is not just about a coin. This is about a chance to change your life, to retire comfortably, to live the life you've always dreamed of. One penny could be your ticket to financial freedom. But only if you know what to look for, and you act now. And no, we're not talking about the penny you found stuck to the bottom of your shoe. Let's be real, this is the real deal. So, are you ready to dig deep, find the treasure, and cash in? Remember, every moment counts. If you've got old pennies lying around, don't wait any longer, the clock is ticking. Find out if you have a 1961 D Lincoln cent and start making your way to the fortune that could be waiting in your pocket. But before you go, don't leave just yet. There's one final secret I'll share in a moment that could double or triple your profits. Stay tuned to find out how. Could this simple penny, one that you might find in an old jar, forgotten in the back of your closet, be worth more than a luxury car, a mansion, or even a lifetime of financial security? Yes, it can. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why the 1966 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is valued at over $1.5 million, and how you could be sitting on a goldmine without even knowing it. But here's the thing, time is running out. Rare coins like this aren't just rare, they're disappearing fast into private collections, and their value is skyrocketing. So, if you're holding onto a treasure like this without realizing it, you could be letting the opportunity of a lifetime slip away. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really looked at the pennies in your pocket? Most of us treat them like they're nothing, small, insignificant, barely worth bending over to pick up off the ground. But pennies, my friend, can be deceiving. And in this video, we'll uncover the secrets of one specific penny, the 1966 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, why it's so rare, how you can tell if you own one, and the jaw-dropping story of why this coin is worth over $1 million. Before you go digging through your couch cushions and turning your house upside down, don't worry. I'll show you how to check your pennies the right way. But first, let's talk about how this little copper piece became a millionaire. To understand the value of the 1966 penny, we have to take a journey back in time. Picture it, the mid-60s. Lyndon B. Johnson is president. Gas costs 32 cents a gallon. And the US Mint is in chaos. In 1965, to combat a national coin shortage, the US Mint made a bold decision. They removed mint marks from all coins minted in Philadelphia. This policy extended into 1966. But here's the twist: during this period, a batch of Lincoln pennies with no mint marks was struck with unusual errors. The result? A handful of these pennies became one of the rarest coins in US history. But what exactly makes this 1966 penny so valuable? Is it a hidden design flaw, a production mistake, or something else entirely? Let's dig deeper. You're at a garage sale. You spot a dusty jar filled with pennies, marked for just 50 cents. You grab it without a second thought, not realizing that within that jar lies a coin that could change your life forever. The 1966 penny's value comes down to rarity and demand. Collectors are hunting for coins that defy the odds, and this one checks all the boxes. It's part of a tiny, nearly mythical group of rare coins, and its story only adds to the allure. That's why just last year, one of these pennies sold for $1.5 million at auction. So, if you've been thinking, I'm too broke to afford a mansion, maybe you just need to check your piggy bank. Turns out, it might already have the down payment. Now that you know the potential of this little penny, let's talk about what you need to do to see if you have one. Check the date. First, look for the year 1966. If your penny doesn't have this date, unfortunately, it's not part of this rare batch. No mint mark. Next, flip the coin to the front and look under the date. If you see a mint mark, it's not the one we're after. No mint mark? That's a good start. Inspect the coin's condition. Finally, condition matters a lot. Coins in pristine condition fetch the highest prices. So, if yours has been rolling around in your glove box for years, it might not hit the $1 million mark, but it could still be worth thousands. But what if you find one? How do you cash in without getting scammed by buyers who'll lowball you? Stick around, I've got the answers. Here's the deal. Finding a 1966 no mint mark penny could be your ticket to a whole new lifestyle. But selling it the right way is crucial. Don't just post it on an auction site and hope for the best. Instead, get it authenticated by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Once certified, you can auction it through a trusted platform or contact high-end coin collectors who are willing to pay top dollar. Think about it, this could be your story. What would you do with $1.5 million? Pay off debts? Travel the world? Secure your family's future? It's not just about the money, it's about the possibilities. Don't let your dreams sit in a jar collecting dust. Start searching, start believing, and who knows, you might just find your $1 million penny today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more tips on unlocking wealth hidden in plain sight, and share this with someone who loves treasure hunts. Who knows, they might thank you for helping them find their fortune. What if I told you that a single penny, sitting unnoticed in your piggy bank or coin jar, could be worth $1.30 million? Sounds crazy, right? But it's not. It's the true story of the 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a rare piece of history hiding in plain sight. Now, before you flip over your couch cushions, don't go breaking your piggy bank just yet. Let's first see if you've got what it takes to uncover this golden, coppered ticket. By the end of this video, you'll not only know if you own this $1 million penny, but I'll also show you how to find a buyer willing to pay top dollar for it. So stick around, this could be the video that changes your life forever. Let's rewind to 1972. A time when Richard Nixon was in the White House, The Godfather ruled the box office, and the US Mint was churning out billions of pennies. Among these countless coins, a rare error slipped through quality control, one with no mint mark. Now, why does this matter? Does a tiny missing mint mark really turn a penny into a fortune? Spoiler alert, yes, it does. And here's why: when coins are struck at a particular US mint, they're marked with a tiny letter. For instance, Denver's coins get a D, and San Francisco's get an S. But in 1972, something extraordinary happened. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these Lincoln pennies. But here's the twist: while Philadelphia coins often lack a mint mark, most 1972 pennies came with visible errors, like doubled dies or other imperfections. One penny, however, came out flawless and utterly unique: the 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny. With so few of these perfect coins in existence, collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums, up to $1.3 million, for a piece of American history. Just imagine the thrill of finding one. Who knew something so small could be worth more than a Ferrari? And here we are, still arguing over who picks up the tab at dinner. But here's the big question: how do you know if your penny is the one collectors are fighting over? Let's dive into that next. First, grab your magnifying glass or your phone's zoom feature. Check the date. Does it say 1972? Good. Now look closely at the coin's surface. Is there any doubling in the text or Lincoln's portrait? If not, you could be in luck. But beware, misidentifying the coin could cost you dearly. Don't make the mistake of selling too soon or trusting the wrong buyer. Later in this video, I'll share how to protect yourself. But first, let's talk money. How do you cash in on a rare penny like this without leaving money on the table? Congratulations, you've identified your treasure. Now, it's time to find the right buyer. Rare coin auctions are your best bet. These events attract serious collectors willing to pay top dollar. Sites like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers are excellent places to start. And no, don't go selling it at your next yard sale. 2 for $1 won't cut it here. Imagine what $1.3 million could do for you. Pay off debt, retire early, travel the world, or finally buy that dream home. It's not just a coin, it's a gateway to a life of possibilities. And the best part? This isn't just a pipe dream. With persistence and the right guidance, it could become your reality. But remember, this opportunity won't last forever. Rare coins only gain value when they're in demand. The market is hot right now, but it won't be forever. So, what's stopping you? Go check your coin collection right now. That one small act could lead to a massive financial windfall. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more tips on uncovering hidden treasures in your home. And if you think you found the 1972 no mint mark penny, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Your $1 million discovery could be closer than you think. So, what are you waiting for? Go find your fortune. You're rummaging through an old jar of coins, one you've neglected for decades. Among the dusty nickels and tarnished dimes lies a single penny, a 1975 Lincoln cent. You dismiss it as ordinary, but what if I told you that this penny might just be your ticket to a $1.3 million fortune? That's right, a single penny worth more than a luxury mansion, a fleet of cars, or even your retirement plan. And now, here's the kicker: most people wouldn't even know to check. Could you be sitting on a fortune and not even realize it? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to spot the rare 1975 no mint mark penny, why collectors are scrambling to find it, and how you could turn your pocket change into life-changing wealth. But fair warning, by the end of this, you might find yourself dumping your entire coin jar onto your living room floor. Don't worry, I won't judge. Let's dive into the story of the 1975 no mint mark Lincoln penny and what makes it so valuable. In 1975, the U.S. Mint was pumping out billions of Lincoln pennies across 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most of these coins bore a mint mark, a tiny letter indicating where they were made. But here's where things get interesting. Pennies struck in Philadelphia had no mint mark, as per tradition, making them seemingly common. But what if I told you not all 1975 no mint mark pennies are created equal? Some rare specimens from that year have misprints, errors, or unusual characteristics that send their value skyrocketing at auctions, and there's one, just one, that fetched a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. How could a coin so small make such a huge impact? let's just say, it's not because Lincoln has an unusually good hair day on this penny. Collectors and numismatists, the fancy term for coin experts, are willing to pay exorbitant sums for these coins because they represent a unique piece of history. A flaw in the minting process can turn an everyday penny into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. Think of it like a rare painting, except this one could be sitting in your couch cushions. Now, what should you be looking for? There are 3 key factors: the condition of the coin. Even the smallest scratch can affect its worth, the presence of rare errors, like double dies or off-center strikes, the authenticity. Scammers are everywhere, and you don't want to fall victim to a fake, but here's the million-dollar question: how do you know if your 1975 penny could be worth $1.3 million? A man from Ohio recently sold a 1975 penny with no mint mark for over $1 million at an auction. Why? Because it was an ultra-rare specimen, perfectly preserved, and authenticated by experts. And here's the good news: there are likely more of these pennies out there, just waiting to be discovered. It could be in your drawer, a family heirloom, or that forgotten piggy bank. So, are you sitting on untapped wealth? There's only one way to find out. If I were you, I'd be halfway to dumping out my wallet by now. The market for rare coins is heating up, and opportunities like this won't last forever. Auction houses and collectors are actively searching for hidden gems, and the value of these coins only grows as the years go by. But here's the thing: time is of the essence. Coins lose value if they're not preserved properly. The sooner you take action, the better your chances of securing a lucrative payday. So, what are you waiting for? Go grab that old coin jar, check every 1975 penny you can find, and don't stop until you've uncovered your own $1 million treasure, because here's the truth: sometimes, the smallest things in life, like a humble penny, can hold the greatest value. And who knows? That penny in your hand could be the key to the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, share it with a friend, and hit subscribe for more tips on turning everyday items into extraordinary wealth. And don't forget, comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. Who knows? Your story might just inspire someone else to discover theirs. Have you ever wondered if that old penny tucked away in your drawer could be worth a fortune? I'm talking about a coin that could change your life forever. If you have a 1979 mint mark penny, it could be the key to unlocking a $1.4 million treasure. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny could be worth millions. Let's face it, we've all seen pennies a million times. They're the most common coin in America. But what if I told you there's a rare variety of 1979 pennies that have been hiding in plain sight for decades, and they're worth more than your car, your house, and maybe even your future combined? The 1979 mint mark penny. It's a coin that could make you richer than you ever thought possible. But here's the twist: it's not just any 1979 penny. Only a small fraction of these coins were minted with a major error, and those are the ones that could be worth as much as $1.40 million. But why? Why are some of these pennies worth millions while others are worth only 1 cent? And how can you tell if your 1979 penny is one of these rare treasures? I know, you're probably thinking, how could this penny possibly be worth more than my lunch? Well, hold on tight, because the answer is going to blow your mind. Act 2, The Rise of the Rare Penny, Why It's Worth a Fortune. Let's dig into the story behind this extraordinary coin. In 1979, the US Mint was struck by a shocking mistake. A number of pennies were minted with a double die error, causing the date and lettering to appear multiple times on the coin. This error is incredibly rare, and when these coins made it into circulation, they were practically indistinguishable from the regular pennies. But savvy collectors noticed something unusual. And now, those pennies are fetching astronomical prices. But here's the kicker: only a handful of these double-die pennies have been authenticated. And the ones that have been confirmed are worth an eye-watering $1.40 million. Just imagine, the coin you've been tossing around in your change jar could be worth more than a brand new luxury car. But there's a catch. If you don't act fast, you could miss your chance to cash in. Rare coins like this are disappearing from the market, and once they're gone for good. And now, let's talk about how you can find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. First, check the mint mark on your penny. You'll need to look for the D on the reverse side, right next to the Lincoln Memorial. Once you've got your penny, it's time to get serious. You'll want to examine the coin closely for any signs of a double die error. Look at the date, the Liberty text, and especially the "In God We Trust" motto. If any of these appear doubled, congratulations, you might just have a rare one. But don't just take my word for it, get your coin authenticated by a professional. Many collectors are willing to pay top dollar for certified rare pennies. If you don't know how to get your coin authenticated, don't worry, we'll talk about that in just a second. Once authenticated, your coin could be sold at a premium. Auctions, dealers, and online marketplaces are all buzzing with demand for these rare pennies. The time to act is now, because as more people discover this hidden treasure, the market value is only going to rise. This isn't just about selling a coin. This is your opportunity to step into a whole new lifestyle. Imagine what an extra $1.4 million could do for you. A new house? A vacation around the world? Or maybe you'll just kick back and enjoy life, knowing you're living the dream because of one small penny. But wait, there's more you need to know. The market for rare pennies is volatile, and there's one key mistake most sellers make that can cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars. In the next few moments, I'm going to reveal exactly how you can avoid that mistake and sell your penny for top dollar. You don't want to miss it. This could change your financial future forever. So, are you ready to unlock the potential of your pennies? Don't wait too long, your next big opportunity is just a click away. Stay tuned, and let's make that $1.4 million a reality. Imagine holding a coin in your hand worth $1.5 million, not a rare artifact from ancient history, but a penny. Yes, that's right. A single penny that could change your life forever. If you have a 1982 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny without a mint mark, you may be sitting on a small fortune, but here's the kicker, most people don't even realize it. Could your jar of old pennies be the key to living the life of your dreams? Stick with me, because you'll want to hear this story, a story that could change everything. Let's dive into this mystery and uncover how this penny ended up with a jaw-dropping value of $1.5 million, and how you could cash in. How does something as ordinary as a penny end up worth a fortune? It all started in 1982, when the US Mint made a seemingly small mistake, a mistake that turned into a legend in the world of numismatics. The mint was transitioning from copper to zinc, and most of the pennies were struck with a P mint mark, signifying the Philadelphia Mint. But some were made without any mint mark at all, and now, here's the twist, only a small number of these no mint mark pennies exist, and because of the low mintage, they've become highly sought after by collectors. Yet, most people don't even know these pennies are worth anything. Could you have one in your collection? Now, before you start rummaging through your couch cushions, just remember, not all pennies are created equal. So let's take a closer look at what makes these rare pennies so valuable. When it comes to coins, rarity is what drives the value. A 1982 no mint mark penny is one of those rare finds that have collectors and investors alike salivating. In fact, one of these pennies, just one, was recently sold for over $1.5 million at auction. That's right, $1.5 million for a single penny that you could find in your old coin jar. The story of this penny is more than just about value. It's about opportunity. You see, for every person who tosses a jar of old pennies into the attic, there's someone else who is making a fortune by spotting the rarest of the rare. So, what makes these pennies so special? Let's break it down. A mint error. The mint did not stamp a P on these coins, making them exceedingly rare. Condition. The condition of the coin is also key. The better it's preserved, the more valuable it becomes. Coins that are uncirculated, with minimal wear, fetch the highest prices. Collector demand. This coin isn't just a penny, it's a piece of history. Coin collectors are willing to pay top dollar for the rarest and most unique pieces. And trust me, this one is at the top of their list. Now, you may be asking yourself, do I have one of these coins? It's time to look deeper. Here's the thing, finding a 1982 no mint mark penny isn't easy. But it's not impossible, either. Many people just don't know what they have in their hands. If you have old pennies from the 1980s or even earlier, it's worth taking the time to go through them. You could be holding a small fortune. Now, I'll tell you exactly what to look for, so listen up, because you don't want to miss this. First, check the year. 1982 is the magic number. Next, examine the area around the Lincoln Memorial on the back of the penny. If there's no mint mark, no P, D, or S, that's your first clue that it could be worth something. But don't stop there. You need to check the condition, too. Is it shiny and clean? Or is it worn down? Condition means everything. And, I know what you're thinking, wait, so if my penny's got a little dirt on it, I'm out of luck? Not necessarily. Let's face it, nobody wants a dirty penny, but sometimes a little elbow grease can work wonders, just don't scrub it with a Brillo pad. Here's the final question. Will you take the time to check your pennies and possibly unlock a small fortune? Or will you miss out on your chance to join the ranks of those who have discovered these treasures? The clock is ticking. The more time you spend thinking about it, the more opportunities slip away. What would your life look like with an extra $1.5 million in your bank account? It could be yours, but only if you act now, and if you find that penny. Don't just sit on it. Get it appraised, get it authenticated, and take it to an auction house. You just might be holding the next big jackpot in the palm of your hand, but wait, before you go check your coins, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell, because in my next video, I'm going to share exactly how to get your coins appraised and what to do if you find a rare one. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.so. Do you have a $1.5 million penny sitting in your home right now? It's time to find out. I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe now to stay in the loop with all things rare coins. If you found something amazing, drop a comment below, I'd love to hear your story. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled for treasures, because you never know what might be hiding in your collection. Imagine, you're sitting at home, flipping through a box of old pennies you've been saving for years. They're cluttered, dusty, forgotten. But what if I told you that one of those pennies could change your life forever? A single penny, no bigger than your thumb, could hold the key to a small fortune up to $1.2 million. Sounds impossible, right? I mean, who's ever heard of a penny being worth more than $1, let alone $1 million? But let me tell you, this is not your ordinary penny. This is the legendary 1991 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln wheat penny. A coin that you've probably never heard of, but one that could make you wealthy beyond your wildest dreams. You might be wondering, why is this penny so valuable? And how do I know if I have one of these rare treasures hiding in my collection? Let's rewind for a second. The year is 1991. A time when pennies were still abundant, flying off the presses of the US Mint without much thought. But in the chaos of production, something extraordinary happened. A tiny batch of pennies was made without a mint mark. A tiny oversight in the factory, but an oversight that turned into one of the most valuable mistakes in modern coin history. You see, every US penny since the early 1900s has had a mint mark, telling you where it was produced, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But these 1991 pennies, missing the mint mark, are among the rarest of their kind. So rare, in fact, that they have become a collector's dream. Now, I know what you're thinking, but how can I be sure that I have one of these? What if I throw it away by mistake? Well, here's where it gets serious. If you have a 1991 penny that doesn't have a mint mark, congratulations, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But here's the kicker, finding it might be harder than you think. The problem is, most people don't even know what they're looking for. They toss these pennies aside, never realizing that they could be worth up to $1.2 million. Yes, million. So, how do you find out if your 1991 penny is one of the rare ones? It's not as simple as just looking at the date. You need to check the details carefully, and that's where most people miss the mark. The screen flashes a question: do you have a 1991 no-mint mark penny? But don't worry. In just a few moments, I'm going to show you exactly how to identify this hidden treasure. The right tools, the right steps, and the process that could literally change your financial future. But before I reveal the secrets to unlocking this fortune, let me ask you something. What if you missed this opportunity? What if your chance to cash in on a $1.2 million penny slips right through your fingers? Think about it, the window of opportunity is closing. Coins like this don't stay hidden forever, and with the rise of online auctions, collectors are hungry for rare pennies like the 1991 no-mint mark. You have to act now. But don't get too comfortable yet. There's a catch: selling your penny is a lot trickier than you think. You can't just walk into any coin shop and expect to get the full value. There are tricks, secrets to selling rare coins at the highest price possible, and I'm going to share those with you, because coming up next, I'm going to tell you exactly how to sell your penny for the most money possible. I'll share insider tips that only expert coin collectors know. Here's the truth: when you sell rare coins like the 1991 no-mint mark penny, you need to work with the right experts, get your penny authenticated, and know how to navigate the marketplace. If you do it right, this penny could become the ticket to your dream lifestyle. But here's the big question: are you ready to seize the opportunity? Are you ready to turn your spare change into wealth? This isn't just about money, it's about changing your life. It's about unlocking the kind of financial freedom that you've always dreamed of. In the next video, I'll take you step by step through the process of identifying these rare pennies and, more importantly, how to sell them for top dollar. Don't miss it. If you do, that penny might just slip through your fingers forever. Trust me, you don't want that. Don't you just love it when something worth millions is right in front of you, but you have no idea? Kinda like finding a winning lottery ticket in your back pocket. If only we could all be that lucky, right? A simple, unassuming penny, a coin so ordinary that you might have one tucked in a jar, a drawer, or even beneath your car seat right now. But what if I told you that this humble 1994 Lincoln penny without a mint mark could be the key to a life of wealth and luxury? Yes, a single coin, valued at an astonishing $1.2 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's not, it's a reality for a lucky few. But there's a catch. Do you even know if you have one? Before you rush off to rummage through your piggy bank, here's what you need to know, because time is running out. To truly grasp the worth of this penny, we need to travel back to 1994. The US Mint, renowned for its precision, occasionally makes mistakes, and those mistakes can create treasure. The 1994 Lincoln penny without a mint mark is one of those rare errors. Unlike its counterparts from Denver, D, or Philadelphia, P, these coins carry no mark, making them incredibly scarce. And scarcity is where the magic lies. Think of it like a rare misprinted baseball card or a first edition comic book. Except instead of Spider-Man, it's good old Abraham Lincoln staring at you. Who knew Honest Abe could make you a millionaire? But here's the kicker: not every 1994 penny is a jackpot. So, how do you spot the difference? And how can you ensure you don't accidentally give away a fortune for 1 cent? I'll tell you, in just a moment. Coin experts have a saying: the devil is in the details. Here's what to look for: flip the coin and examine the area below the year. If there's no tiny D or P, you might be in luck. But condition matters. A coin in mint condition can fetch millions, while a scratched or worn version might only be worth, well, a penny. And don't try to wing it. A certified grading service is your golden ticket to confirming authenticity and value. After all, you wouldn't sell a Picasso without an appraisal, right? Oh, and pro tip: don't try to clean the coin yourself. You're not polishing grandma's silverware, you're handling history. Cleaning can actually devalue the coin. Now, here's where it gets even more exciting. Once you've confirmed you own this rare penny, the world opens up to you. But selling it isn't as simple as you think. Why? Stay tuned. Standing in an auction room or receiving a phone call that changes your life forever. These pennies have made headlines at auctions, fetching hundreds of thousands, even crossing the $1 million mark. And with demand surging among collectors, the potential value could rise even higher. But here's the urgent truth: not all opportunities last forever. Coins like these don't sit on the market for long, and buyers are always watching. If you wait too long, you might miss your chance to cash in. So, what are you waiting for? That coin jar on your shelf could be worth more than your car. Heck, it might be worth more than your house. Just imagine what you could do with $1.2 million: travel the world, buy your dream home, or maybe just live life on your terms. And if you're wondering how to take the first step towards selling your treasure, don't worry. In our next video, I'll guide you through the exact process, from verification to auction. You don't want to miss it.
Welcome back to numismatic coins. You know that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny that are most valuable than you think, don't spend these pennies. You are lucky if you have one of these. So please watch complete video for numismatic treasure. Let's start this. You're cleaning out an old desk drawer, maybe looking for an old photo, and you stumble upon a dusty little coin. It's nothing fancy at first glance, just a 1951 Lincoln wheat penny. You think, what's this worth? A cent? Maybe a couple? Bucks if I'm lucky? But here's the twist. What if I told you that this very coin, in the right condition, with a rare mint mark error,
is currently valued at an astonishing $769,000 in today's market. Yes, that's not a typo. 769,000. And the shocking part, most people walk right past these treasures without ever knowing. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, okay, this sounds like one of those stories where the gold is always somewhere else, let me stop you. This isn't about chasing rainbows. This is about real documented sales. And how one coin minted over 70 years ago has made ordinary people into extraordinary millionaires. And if you think these are all locked away in museums, think again. Some of them are sitting in coin jars, tucked in boxes, or forgotten in attics across America. Maybe even yours. Back in 1951, the United States Mint in Denver and San Francisco was producing Lincoln wheat pennies by the millions. We're simple, sturdy, and meant for everyday transactions. But here's where history handed us a twist. Certain batches were struck with subtle but critical errors, misaligned mint marks, double dies, or weak strikes. These weren't just mistakes. They became the DNA of rarity. And just like rare diamonds or limited edition art, the fewer there are, the higher the value climbs. Think of it like this. Every coin is a little time capsule. It's traveled through decades of American history, from gas at 20 cents a gallon to smartphones in every pocket. Now, when a coin survives all that in pristine condition and with a minting flaw transforms from spare change into, life-changing. One collector, after finding a rare 1951 wheat penny in his late father's belongings, had it professionally graded. The result? A staggering market offer of $769,000. That's not just a payday, that's college tuition. For the kids, a mortgage paid in full. And yes, maybe even that dream vacation you've been putting off for years. Here's the urgency. Every single day, coins like this are being lost, damaged, or unknowingly spent back into circulation. Every year, the pool of potential treasures gets smaller. This isn't just about money, it's about owning a piece of American history that appreciates in value as time marches on. The market for rare coins is hotter than ever, and collectors are aggressively hunting these hidden gems. They're not just buying coins, they're buying legacy, rarity, and the bragging rights of owning something almost no one else on Earth has. And if you're thinking, but I wouldn't even know how to spot one, here's a humorous truth: most people treat old pennies like grocery store gum wrappers. But you're about to learn the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth enough to retire early. The truth is, the 1951 Mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny isn't just it's a symbol of opportunity hiding in plain sight. And right now, in this exact moment, someone, somewhere in the US, is unknowingly holding a small fortune in the palm of their hand. The question is, will that someone be you, or will you let it slip through your fingers into a vending machine? We are living in a time where knowledge equals wealth. The collector's market is more competitive, more passionate, and more willing to pay top dollar than ever before. This is the window to act, not next year, not when you have time to look. Now, pull out those old jars, dig through the coin rolls, open the box in the closet that's been sealed since your grandparents passed it down. Because every day you wait, another rare coin changes hands. And the opportunity passes to someone else. The $769,000 valuation isn't a fantasy, it's a documented reality. And while not every 1951 wheat penny will make you a millionaire, the truth is, some will. And finding just one could be the difference between what if and remember when. So ask yourself, when opportunity knocks disguised as a humble copper coin, will you recognize it? Will you let it disappear into someone else's pocket? The next story of a life-changing coin discovery could be yours, but only if you start looking today. Imagine opening an old cigar box in your attic, brushing away decades of dust, and finding a single penny. You think it's worth? Well, a penny. But what if I told you that one specific penny, the 1956 Mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny with a rare error, is making headlines right now for being worth a staggering $679,000 in today's market? Yes, a coin most people wouldn't bother to bend down and pick up from the sidewalk could fund your dream home. Pay off every bill you've ever had, and leave enough left over for a luxury vacation or two. Before you dismiss this as another too good to be true story, understand this: wealthy coin collectors are not just buying coins. They are competing, fighting, and outbidding each other to own a piece of American history. And when it comes to the 1956 era penny, the demand is ferocious. These aren't casual buyers. They're deep-pocketed enthusiasts willing to pay more for a small disc of copper than most people pay for their house. So why is this penny so special? And more importantly, how do you know if you have one sitting in a jar or drawer right now? Stay with me, because by the end of this story, you'll see how a single coin could transform your financial future forever. In 1956, the Denver Mint was a bustling powerhouse, striking millions of Lincoln wheat pennies. But in the midst of this massive production, an error slipped through, an error so rare, so unusual, that decades later, collectors are calling it one of the most valuable mistakes in U.S. coin history. It could be a double die, a repunched mint mark, or another subtle anomaly invisible to the untrained eye. These tiny imperfections turn ordinary coins into treasures, because they tell a story of human hands, of old machinery, of a moment in time when perfection slipped, and rarity was born. Think about it. The year was 1956. Eisenhower was. President Elvis Presley was revolutionizing music, and gas was 22 cents a gallon. The world was simpler, but the coins we carried were rich in detail and quality. That's why collectors crave them, not just for their monetary value, but for their connection to an era gone by. And here's the kicker. Many of these rare pennies are hiding in plain sight. People inherit jars of coins from parents and grandparents, never knowing that one of those humble coppers could be a ticket to financial freedom. Every week, auction houses report jaw-dropping sales. And this $679,000 penny is just one example. If you think I probably don't have one, remember, every single person who sold one of these coins once thought the same thing. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, but how do I check without making a fool of myself at a pawn shop? The truth is, collectors and dealers want you to bring these in because rare coin demand right now is at an all-time high. The market is surging, the competition is fierce, and values are climbing like never before. But here's the thing: the window won't stay open forever. Here's the bottom line: the 19560 era Lincoln wheat penny is more than just a coin. It's a golden opportunity disguised in copper. Right now, in the hands of the right collector, it can fetch life-changing money. And it's not just about luck. It's about looking. That jar of pennies on your shelf, that coffee can in the garage, that old coin album you inherited. One of them might be your $679,000 windfall. And let's be honest, isn't there something thrilling about the possibility? The idea that your path to a wealthy, free lifestyle could be hiding right under your nose? Yes, some people spend their lives chasing fortune. For you, it might just be sitting in a drawer. But here's the urgency. With rare coins, timing matters. Every year, more are bought up and locked away in private collections, driving prices higher and availability lower. Waiting could mean missing your moment entirely. So tonight, when the house is quiet, pull out those coins, look closely, compare them to trusted resources. Brett, and if you think you've got something, don't sit on it. Get it verified, get it appraised, and get it on the market while the demand is roaring. Because the difference between a penny and a $679,000 payday is not just rarity, it's action. Who knows? By this time next month, you could be sitting in your dream home smiling at the thought that it all started with one small, ordinary-looking coin from 1956. Sometimes wealth doesn't have to be built. Sometimes it's already in your hands. Imagine holding in your hand a single ordinary-looking penny. But that penny could pay off your mortgage, buy you a luxury car, or even fund your retirement. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, that's exactly the reality for one remarkable piece of American history: the 1945 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny with a rare minting error. Recently valued at a jaw-dropping $770,000. Yes, for a coin that most people wouldn't even bother to pick up off the sidewalk. And if you think that's the rarest story in the coin world, think again, because it's only the beginning. Now, before you say, "I've checked my pennies and found nothing," let me stop you right there. The truth is, this isn't just about luck. This is about knowing what to look for, when to act, and how to recognize something most eyes will miss. The clock is ticking because coins like these are being pulled out of circulation, locked away in collections, and every day the opportunities to find them shrink. You might be wondering, how on earth does a coin from 1945, a time when gasoline was just 15 cents a gallon, end up being worth more than most luxury homes today? That's the mystery we're about to unravel, and trust me, by the end, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. In the final months of World War II, America was producing massive quantities of coins to fuel the booming post-war economy. The Lincoln wheat penny, a humble 1-cent coin featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile on one side and those iconic wheat stalks on the reverse, was churned out by the millions. But here's the twist. The no-mint mark version, struck in 1945 from the Philadelphia Mint, isn't rare on its own. What makes this specific penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars is a minting error. So subtle that 9 out of 10 people would miss it completely. This wasn't a mistake you'd spot with the naked eye at first glance. It's the kind of flaw that whispers, not shouts, a small anomaly in the die that struck it. A microscopic deviation in lettering, a detail only the trained eye will pause to admire. And yet, that whisper is powerful enough to make serious collectors open their wallets in ways that will leave you breathless. Think about it. A coin that cost the government less than a cent to make now, trading for nearly $750,000 now. Let's interrupt this little history lesson for a reality check. If you're sitting there thinking, I probably don't have one, remember, every person who has found a life-changing coin once thought the same thing. Coins don't carry neon signs saying, I'm worth a fortune. They hide in dusty jars, forgotten shoeboxes, and the back of old dresser drawers. Sometimes they pass through your hand at a gas station without you even noticing. That's why this moment right now is not one to scroll past. Here's where the urgency comes in. The coin market today is hotter than it's been in decades. Wealthy collectors are competing for ownership of rare historical pieces, prices are climbing, and once a coin like this lands in a private collection, it can vanish from public sale for generations. It's not just about money, it's about securing a piece of American history before it's gone forever. So what do you do if you suspect you might have a valuable coin? You strain your eye. Look for dates like 1945 with no mint mark, examine the fine details, and most importantly, don't dismiss coins just because they look normal. Second, get a professional appraisal, not from someone who might offer you a few bucks, but from a reputable numismatics expert who understands the market. Finally, and this is key, take action while the demand is surging, because here's the reality. The 1945 no-mint mark wheat penny with this rare error recently sold for $770,000, but that's not a ceiling. In the world of rare coins, records are meant to be broken. The next auction could see it go higher, especially as the number of known specimens remains extremely low. Imagine being the one who brings the next high-value coin to market, your story featured in financial news. Your bank account swelling as you watch bids climb in real time, and let's sprinkle in a little humor here. You know those jokes about people diving into fountains to grab coins? Well, after today, you might just be that person, except you'll be smiling all the way to the bank. This isn't just about selling a coin. It's about stepping into a world where wealth is hidden in plain sight, where knowledge is power, and where opportunity is as close as your next handful of change. The 1945 penny is proof that history and fortune can meet in the palm of your hand. The only question now is, will you be the one who seizes it before it's too late? Imagine opening an old coffee can in your attic, sifting through dusty coins that haven't seen daylight in decades, and holding a single penny that could transform your financial future. Not just any penny, a 1942D Lincoln wheat cent. With a rare minting error so valuable, it recently sold for $670,000. That's right, a single copper coin, smaller than a bottle cap, now worth more than most people's homes. This is not hype, not wishful thinking, and definitely not a fluke. This is the power of numismatic treasure hunting, finding the rare hidden gems that most people unknowingly spend for gum or drop in a tip jar. The truth is, right now collectors across America are actively paying top dollar for coins like this, and demand is skyrocketing. Every day you wait, another opportunity slips into someone else's pocket. Literally. And here's the twist. The 1942D wheat penny era isn't just rare. It's the type of coin that turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. So let's dive into what makes it special, how to spot it, and why selling at the right time could be the smartest wealth move you'll make this decade. The year was 1942. The US was in the heart of World War II. The Denver Mint was producing millions of Lincoln cents, meant to keep commerce flowing during a time when every resource mattered. But in that high-pressure environment, a handful of pennies slipped through with a minting error so subtle that most went unnoticed for generations. The error: a double die obverse, a striking misalignment during the minting process that caused the design, especially the date and lettering, to appear shadowed and doubled. It's the kind of mistake that mint workers would have quickly removed if spotted, but a few escaped. Today, these survivors are the crown jewels of penny collecting now. You might be thinking, it's just a penny. Why would anyone pay $670,000 for it? Because in the coin world, rarity and condition are everything. Combine that with historical significance, wartime production, limited survivors, and a stunning mint error, and you have the perfect storm for massive value, and here's where the excitement turns to urgency. These coins don't stay hidden forever. Every year more are found, graded, and locked away in private collections, never to see the open market again. The supply is shrinking, and when supply shrinks, prices climb. Think about it. What was $50,000 a decade ago can now command hundreds of thousands, by the way. Have you ever noticed that finding a rare coin in your change makes you suddenly suspicious of every coin you own? That's not paranoia, that's profit awareness. Here's the reality. There's a strong, active market for coins like the 1942D wheat penny era. And buyers are not shy about paying record-breaking prices. The $670,000 sale wasn't an anomaly, it was a signal. A signal that high-value, historically significant coins are in extreme demand. If you have old jars, boxes, or inherited coin albums sitting untouched, now is not the time to procrastinate. Every month, top-tier coins are being scooped up by wealthy collectors, hedge fund investors diversifying into hard assets, and even museums looking to secure their place in history. The competition is fierce, and they're not waiting for you to get around to it. Imagine paying off your mortgage, upgrading your lifestyle, or securing your family's financial future, all from a coin you didn't even know was valuable. That's the power of acting now. The bottom line is simple. The 1942D Lincoln wheat penny mint era is a modern-day gold rush, and your old coins could be the gold mine. Don't just wonder if you have one. Find out. Get them appraised. Get them graded, and if you strike copper gold, sell when the market is this hot, because here's the truth. Wealth doesn't wait. It rewards the bold, the curious, and the ones willing to look a little closer at what everyone else overlooks. And right now, somewhere in America, someone is holding a penny worth $670,000. The only question is, will it be you? Imagine holding something in your hand so small, so ordinary, that's so powerful it could instantly change your financial future. A single coin, just 1 cent in value when it left the mint, now worth more than the price of a luxury home in Beverly Hills. Yes, we're talking about a USA 1955 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, an unassuming copper coin with a story so extraordinary that collectors are willing to pay up to $769,000 for the right one. If that doesn't make you glance at your piggy bank differently, nothing will now, before you dismiss this as just another rare coin story. Let me ask you, when was the last time you checked that old jar of coins in the back of your kitchen cabinet, or the ones you inherited from your grandfather and swore you'd sort through someday? But someday might just be today, because the window to find and sell these treasures at record-breaking prices is open but not forever. And before you think I'm not a coin person, remember neither was the man who accidentally found one of these pennies in a tin of nails in his garage and walked away, richer than most lottery winners. Yes, a tin of nails. Yeah, this can't make this up. The year was 1955. Elvis was shaking up the music world. Disneyland had just opened, and America was bustling with post-war optimism. But inside the U.S. Mint, something unexpected happened. A mechanical misalignment during the coin-striking process produced a batch of Lincoln wheat pennies that were anything but ordinary. This was no simple scratch or dinging. This was a glaring, undeniable error, visible to the naked eye. And yet, most went unnoticed as they quietly slipped into circulation. These error coins became legends in the numismatic world. Why? Because collectors don't just want perfection, they crave rarity, uniqueness, a piece of history that nobody else can replicate. The 1955 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with certain era characteristics ticks all those boxes. Coins like these are no longer just hobby pieces. They've become assets, appreciating faster than many stocks, properties, and even gold. Think about it, people are spending thousands of dollars on virtual cartoon monkeys online. And here's a tangible, historical artifact in your palm. Worth more than a Lamborghini? Which would you rather own? Today, the right example of this penny in pristine condition is commanding staggering prices in auctions. $769,000 and climbing. The demand is fierce because the supply is painfully finite. Every year, more are locked away in private collections, never to hit the open market again. This means the next few years could be the most profitable moment in history to sell one. Few weeks from now, you're sitting across from a collector or auctioneer who's just slid a check across the table. Not a small check, not a nice little bonus, a life-changing sum of money. All because you took the time to check your coins today instead of putting it off until tomorrow. But here's where fear meets reality every day. People unknowingly spend these coins in vending machines, cash registers, and coin counters, erasing decades of potential wealth in an instant. The difference between finding and losing forever comes down to one thing: action. And if you're wondering whether these stories are rare, let me tell you, rare doesn't mean impossible. Every single high-value coin found in someone's collection was sitting in a drawer, a coffee can, or a forgotten box just days before it made headlines. Your coin could be next. Pattern interrupt and hey, worst case scenario, you go through your coins, find nothing, and still end up feeling like Indiana Jones for an afternoon. Best case, you're booking a first-class ticket to the lifestyle you've always dreamed of, so check your coins, ask questions, get them appraised. Because the opportunity to turn a single cent into nearly $1 million doesn't come along often, and once it's gone, it's gone. The USA 1955 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny isn't just a piece of metal, it's a golden ticket hiding in plain sight. And if you find one, let's just say your someday could start today. Imagine sitting at your kitchen table, sipping your morning coffee, and realizing that tiny penny you tossed into a drawer years ago could be worth over $660,000 today. Yes, you heard me right, one single penny. No, this isn't some fairy tale. This is the story of the 1953 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, an unassuming copper coin hiding in plain sight that's turning every day. It's Americans into overnight success stories. And here's the kicker, people. It's just like you are cashing in right now. But before you run to the couch cushions or your grandfather's coin jar, let's talk about why this specific penny has become one of the hottest and most sought after coins in the numismatic world. Because once you understand the why, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Back in 1953, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced millions of Lincoln wheat pennies, most of them perfectly ordinary. But a rare few were struck with unusual Aristini imperfections in the die, subtle shifts in the strike, or anomalies in the metal composition. These are what collectors crave, coins that aren't just old but unique. And because the Philadelphia Mint didn't stamp a mint mark on these coins, the rarity becomes even more dramatic when certain high-grade errors are discovered. Now, here's the part that turns this into a life-changing opportunity. The collector market is fierce. The last recorded sale of a pristine 1953 no mint mark wheat penny with a dramatic error reached a jaw-dropping $660,000 at auction. Yes, that's more than the price of a brand new luxury home in many states, all for a 1-cent coin. The demand isn't slowing down, if anything. It's heating up as collectors compete to secure these hidden treasures before they vanish into private collections forever. Here's where I need you to pause for a second and think. When was the last time you really looked through your old coins? Or are they just sitting in a dusty jar somewhere, waiting for someone else to discover them? Imagine the regret of realizing years later that you unknowingly gave away a fortune. That's why now is the time to act, and just to reset your attention. For a moment, yes, I know what you're thinking. This is just a penny, not a winning lottery ticket. True, but which would you rather have? A lottery ticket with odds of 1 in hundreds of millions, or a coin you might already own sitting quietly in your home, holding the potential to change your financial future? Here's the truth. The coin market is on fire. Collectors are paying record-breaking amounts for rare finds. And the 1953 no mint mark wheat penny is among the most coveted pieces right now. Every day you wait is another day someone else's coin gets sold for life-changing money. And yours if you have its remains buried in a drawer. This isn't just about selling a coin. It's about stepping into the life you've dreamed of. Think of the freedom that $660,000 could bring. Clearing debt, buying that home, retiring early, funding the business you've been imagining for years. These aren't just numbers, they're opportunities. And they're real. So here's what you do. Tonight, pull out your old change jars. Check your inherited coin boxes and pay special attention to any 1953 Lincoln wheat pennies. Look for the absence of a mint mark under the date, and if you see even the slightest hint of an unusual strike or detail, set it aside. Hey, get it evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or auction house. Because here's the thing. These pennies aren't just pieces of metal. They're golden tickets disguised as copper. If you're ready to sell, there's a market of eager collectors willing to pay a fortune for the right coin. The only question is, will it be your coin that sells next? Imagine holding something in your hand worth more than the price of a luxury sports car, yet so small it could slip between your couch cushions. That's exactly the case with one of the most fascinating finds in American coin history. 1936 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. Recently, one of these seemingly ordinary copper coins sold for an astonishing $560,000. Now, before you roll your eyes and think there's no way I have one of those, let me stop you right there. History's full of people who dismissed junk change only to find they were sitting on fortunes. You might have inherited an old coin jar from a relative, or maybe you've been overlooking the wheat pennies mixed in your change. And here's the twist. The difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth half. Ow. $1,000,000 is often invisible to the untrained. That is where the opportunity lies. But this isn't just about finding a coin. This is about realizing that the wealth you've been chasing might already be in your possession. The question is, will you recognize it before it slips through your fingers? Let's rewind to 1936. The Great Depression was still casting its shadow over America, yet the U.S. Mint continued producing coins, millions of them. Most were struck perfectly, but every once in a while an error would occur, a minting anomaly that transformed an everyday penny into a rare, collectible worth life-changing sums today. The 1936 no-mint mark wheat penny is one of these treasures. Struck in Philadelphia with certain rare die variations and in pristine condition, it has become a golden ticket for collectors. Not every 1936 penny is valuable, but under the right combination of rarity, error, and condition, the price can leap from a humble cent to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why is it worth so much? Scarcity. In the world of rare coins, scarcity drives value like nothing else. Combine that with historical significance, collector demand, and the emotional pull of owning a piece of America's past, and you've got the perfect storm for sky-high prices. Think about it. There are fewer high-grade, error-free specimens than there are millionaires in the US. That's why when one shows up at auction, collectors don't just bid, they battle. Now here's the exciting part. The same market. Forces that push the value of fine art, vintage cars, and rare wines are at play in coin collecting. And right now, the demand for early 20th century US coins, especially wheat pennies, is climbing. That's not a coincidence, it's an investment trend. In other words, the window of opportunity is open, but not forever. And if you're thinking, but I've never even looked at my old coins, this might be the moment that changes your financial story forever. Remember, every millionaire has a moment when they recognize the opportunity in front of them. The question is whether you'll seize yours. So, what do you do if you suspect you have a 1936 no-mint mark wheat penny? You take action immediately. Don't toss it back into circulation, and don't hand it over to a random pawn shop. In the world of rare coins, knowledge is currency, and rushing in without it is like walking into a poker game without knowing the rules. Get it authenticated by a reputable grading service. Preserve it carefully. Even the smallest scratch can shave thousands off its value. And then, you position it strategically in front of serious buyers. This is not a coin you sell casually. This is a coin that commands attention, sparks bidding wars, and could become the single transaction that changes your bank account forever. Let me be blunt. The collectors who are paying $560,000 for this coin aren't doing it because they like shiny objects. They're doing it because they know the market is strong, demand is high. The value of truly rare coins continues to rise. And here's the thought I want you to carry with you. The next great coin discovery doesn't happen in a museum or at a high-end dealer. It happens in kitchens, attics, and living rooms all across America. It happens when someone like you decides to look twice at what they already have. So tonight when you get home, pull out that coin jar. Go through that old collection. Because if the 1936 no-mint mark wheat penny could turn an everyday person into a half-millionaire, why couldn't it be you? Imagine walking into your attic, pulling out an old, dusty jar of pennies, finding one single coin that could change your life forever. Not a gold coin, not a rare silver treasure, just a small, copper-colored penny. But not just any penny, the legendary 1957 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat cent. It's an error so rare that one sold for an astounding $656,000 in the current market. Let that sink in. A penny worth more than $500,000. What would you do with that kind of money? Pay off the house? Buy your dream car? Or maybe, finally, live the life you've always imagined? The United States in 1957 was a time of big dreams. Eisenhower was president, the space race was heating up, and in the small, bustling halls of the Philadelphia Mint, millions of Lincoln wheat pennies were struck. Most of them were ordinary, everyday coins destined to rattle around in change jars, slip into pockets, and buy candy bars for kids. But among those millions, a tiny handful emerged with something unusual, a subtle error that would make them legendary. Here's where the magic happens. The 1957 no-mint mark penny from Philadelphia wasn't just a coin, it became a time capsule of American history. Its lack of a mint mark wasn't the real treasure. The real treasure was in its flawless strike, its unique variations, and the fact that collectors were willing to pay anything to own one in pristine condition. And when the right collector meets the right coin, that's when life-changing checks get written. Either way, if you're already imagining yourself digging through your couch cushions, you're not alone. I can almost hear some of you thinking, honey, cancel dinner, I'm going to the garage to check the coin jars. Fast forward to today. The coin market has exploded. Baby boomers are liquidating massive collections, new investors are pouring into collectibles as a hedge against inflation, and rare coins, especially era coins, are in insatiable demand. And here's the kicker. When a coin like the 1957 no mint mark Lincoln wheat cent appears in high-grade condition, collectors don't just bid, they battle. The last auction for one of these rare beauties hit $656,000, a number that shocked even seasoned numismatists. Why so high? Because once a collector secures a rare coin like this, it's not just about owning metal, it's about owning history, prestige, and bragging rights. And there are fewer of these coins available now than ever before. Every year, more are locked into private collections, never to hit the open market again. Here's a question for you. How many times have you spent a penny without thinking twice? Hundreds? Thousands? And now, imagine you've accidentally spent $500,000 without even knowing it. That's not just a missed opportunity, that's a nightmare for anyone who understands the value of rare coins. Here's the truth: opportunities like this are fleeting. The rare coin market rewards the informed, the prepared, and the decisive. You've inherited coins from family, if you've kept old change lying around, or if you've been holding on to wheat pennies for someday. That someday is here. Every day that passes, another collector scoops up coins like these and pushes the market higher. And the next record-breaking sale could be yours. The 1957 no mint mark Lincoln wheat cent is more than just copper, it's a golden ticket for those who recognize its worth. In a world where paper money loses value every year, rare coins like this stand as rock-solid symbols of wealth and legacy. And if you're serious about living a wealthy lifestyle, building generational wealth, and cashing in on history, you need to act now. Remember, someone else's ordinary penny could be your $656,000 breakthrough. And if you're holding one in your hand, bet that life you've been dreaming of isn't a fantasy anymore. It's just one decision away. Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins on your kitchen counter and pulling out something so rare, so extraordinary, that it could change your life forever. Now picture that moment when you learn it's not just worth a few dollars, not even a few thousand, but nearly $1 million. Sounds like a fantasy? Well, it's not, because right now, somewhere in America, the legendary 1940s Lincoln wheat penny with a mint era is out there, sitting quietly in someone's drawer, forgotten. While its current market value stands at an incredible $998,000. See, most people walk past treasures every day without knowing it. They spend them, they toss them into piggy banks, they give them away. That's the tragedy and the opportunity. And if you think these rare coins are locked away in dusty museum vaults, think again. They're in basements, old coffee cans, inherited coin albums, sometimes in plain sight. Now, before you say, well, I'm not a coin collector, remember this. It's not about being a collector. It's about recognizing that one small piece of copper struck in San Francisco in 1940 could hold the kind of financial power that makes early retirement possible. And yes, right now, people are getting life-changing checks for coins they didn't even know were special. Let's step back in time to the year 1940. America was coming out of the Great Depression, war was brewing overseas, and in the quiet halls of the San Francisco Mint, pennies were being struck by the millions. But among these, a tiny number left the mint with a flaw. Striking error so precise and rare that it's now one of the most coveted pieces in numismatic history. This 1940s wheat penny carries the distinctive S mint mark beneath the date, but the error caused during the die-making process creates subtle, almost invisible differences in its design. Maybe a doubled image, a misplaced mint mark, or unusual spacing in the lettering. To the untrained eye, it looks like just another penny. But to serious coin experts, it's the Mona Lisa of American copper coins. Why so valuable? Simple economics. Extreme rarity plus massive demand equals skyrocketing prices. Over the decades, this penny has passed quietly through hands, sometimes sold for small amounts, sometimes tucked away as just old change. But in the last few years, the demand for rare U.S. coins has exploded. Wealthy collectors, investors, and even hedge funds are actively competing for the finest examples, driving auction prices into the stratosphere. Think about it. While some people are chasing stock market gains, others are building wealth with tangible assets that can fit in the palm of your hand. A penny, smaller than a cookie, that's worth more than the average house. That's not just impressive, that's inspiring. And here's the reality check. Coins like this don't stay hidden forever. When they surface, They cause bidding wars. The last verified 194 OS Mint era penny sold for nearly $1 million. $998,000 to be exact. Hand experts believe the next one could break the $1 million mark easily. Here's the question. Will you be the one who finds it next? Or will it pass you by? This is where fear and excitement collide, because every day you wait is another day someone else could cash in. Every dusty coin jar, every inherited box from your grandparents, every coin slipped into your pocket in change could be holding the one that changes everything. If you've ever dreamed of paying off your mortgage in one stroke, taking that dream vacation, or securing a wealthy retirement, this is your moment to act. The clock is ticking. Rare coins like the 194 OS wheat penny are in higher demand than ever before, and the market is moving fast. Collectors are not waiting, and neither should you. So tonight, instead of scrolling through endless social media feeds, grab a magnifying glass, open those old drawers, and start looking. You might laugh now, but imagine laughing later when you're holding a check for $998,000. And here's a thought to leave you with. Somewhere, right now, a person just like you is about to discover their fortune. The only difference between them and you is whether you take this seriously today. Imagine this. You're sorting through an old jar of pennies that's been sitting in your closet for decades. You're just about ready to take it to the bank when suddenly you notice one coin looks a little different. The date reads 1951. No mint mark. It's a humble brown little penny. Yet what if I told you that this tiny piece of copper could be worth $770,000 in today's market? Yes, that's right, not $70, not $70,000. $770,000, enough to pay off your mortgage, buy a luxury car, or finally take that first-class trip around the world. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. But here's the thing, every great fortune has a starting point. For some, it's a business deal. For others, a piece of real estate. For a select few, it's a coin that most people wouldn't even glance at. The question is, will you recognize it when it's in your hands? Now, back in 1951, the United States was in a post-war boom. People were buying new homes, driving shiny cars, and dropping pennies into vending machines without a second thought. At the Philadelphia Mint, millions of Lincoln wheat cents rolled off the presses. Most were ordinary, but a few, just a few, came out with a subtle flaw, a minting anomaly so rare that collectors today will pay nearly $750,000 for one in pristine condition. Why is it so valuable? Because in the world of coin collecting, rarity drives demand, and demand drives price. And here's the truth, most people who've held this coin never knew what they had. Some spent it on gum. Some lost it in their couch cushions. And somewhere, maybe even in your home right now, one could be waiting. But here's where it gets exciting. The 1951 no mint mark Lincoln wheat cent isn't just a coin, it's a piece of American history. No mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia, and during that era, coins were made with meticulous craftsmanship, but errors still slip through. Those imperfections, they're like fingerprints, unique, irreplaceable, and highly sought after, and just like that, a single penny transforms from pocket change to a treasure. Now, let's pause for a second because I can almost hear you asking, wait, how would I even know if mine is the one worth $770,000? I'll get to that in a moment. But first, let me drop a quick truth bomb. If you think coins this valuable only belong to museums or professional dealers, think again. No. Just last year, a coin almost identical to this sold at auction for over $750,000. And guess where it came from? Someone's personal collection. Found in an old coffee tin? Let's be honest, how many of us have that one family member who keeps saving coins for a rainy day? You know, the person who refuses to spend that jar of change because someday it might be worth something? Well, for once, they might have been right. Here's the twist, these coins are disappearing from circulation every single day. Collectors are snapping them up. The more they vanish, the more the value climbs. Which means if you've been sitting on that coin jar in the closet, the time to check it is now. Waiting could literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Here's what you need to do. Go through your coins. Look for the year 1951. Check the area right below the dative. There's no mint mark. You've got a Philadelphia strike. But the real magic happens when you look closer, search for signs of double die errors, crisp edges, and flawless surfaces. If your coin is in uncirculated or near perfect condition, you may just be holding a small disc of copper worth more than most people's annual salary. Think about it. This is your chance to turn something ordinary into something extraordinary, to take an overlooked piece of history and convert it into life-changing wealth. Imagine selling a single penny and walking away with enough money to fund your dream lifestyle. No debt, no stress, just freedom. Opportunities like this don't come often. In fact, they're shrinking by the day. Coins like the 1951 no-mint mark wheat cent are becoming legends in the collecting world, and legends don't sit in coin jars forever. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, before you go to bed, grab that jar of coins. Dump them out on the table. Check every single one, because for all you know, the next time we talk, you could be holding a penny worth $770,000. The key to your next chapter of wealth and freedom